Hello and welcome to the January edition of the Clarity Queen Masterclass series, Create Your Queendom, where I'm going to be sharing with you my powerful strategy to not only claim back your divine feminine power, but to start winning like a woman without struggle, sacrifice, and burnout. Because let's be honest, here in the Clarity Queen community, we are definitely all about absolutely having it all, unapologetically and without exception. So for today's masterclass, we're going to be recapping all of the key takeaways and the golden nuggets that I shared inside of the Goals into Gold challenge that went live this week, just gone, in the Clarity Queen Facebook group. If you would like to delve more deeply into those 5 modules, trainings, and do the work around it, then those recordings are going to be made available for you, probably until about Q2 when we'll take it down, and then we're going to run another tranche of that. So do delve in if you're feeling called to do that. We're then going to be diving into the meat of this masterclass. And so we're going to be covering divine feminine leadership and what that actually means and what that could mean for you. The major blockages that we face when it comes to absolutely having it all, how we can flip the script and take back our power, and also what it actually means to win like a woman. So without further ado, let's get into the recap of the Goals into Gold challenge. On day 1, we kicked off envisioning the dream you. So we talked about the absolute fact that you create your own reality via your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. You will have heard me talk about this many times if you've been following me for some time. And when you allow these 4 faculties to align deeply and in a positive way with your dream vision and your goals, it becomes possible not to only achieve them, but to also exceed them and go beyond them ahead of time, year on year, forever. Your desires are never wrong, okay? And the fact that the entire world is literally filled to the brim with the manifestation of things that were once just a seed of inspiration in somebody else's mind should demonstrate to you that your desires are never wrong. If you can desire it, then it gets to be yours. We covered daring to dream big and the fact that the mind can't actually tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And so always imagine good, positive outcomes for yourself, and God, just stop dreaming small. We introduced the concept of the logical mind versus intuitive guidance and the role of the ego, which is simply to keep us safe. So there's nothing to fear in the world but fear itself. Fear is literally a mind-made construct. And above all else, decide that if nothing was bad, nothing was greedy, nothing was wrong, what is it that you actually want? On day 2, we covered how to get into epic alignment with your desires. We touched on the fact that alignment is simply an energetic game, and that aligning simply means aligning to the energetic frequency of that which you desire. And how we do this is via our emotions, because emotions are simply energy in motion. We tune into the vibration of what we desire, just like we do when we tune into our favorite radio station. You'll know whether or not you're in alignment by how you feel in each and every moment, each and every day. We went into knowing your why and how life will inevitably throw rocks and sometimes big ass boulders on your path to absolutely having it all. So having a strong why for why you want what you want and why you want to bring your desires to fruition will steer you through those tough times. Knowing your why is really understanding your deeper reasons for wanting to manifest your desires. Your why is often bigger and greater than you. We talked about that beautiful dance between gratitude and desire, which is effectively a balance between being deeply present and appreciative for all that you have experienced up to now and tapping into that delicious anticipation and energetic, emotional frequency of what it is that's coming up next. Practicing this with a daily ritual really, really helps to bring you into that kind of epic alignment with your goals and all that you desire. And then we finished off day 2 with the art of letting go. how we can be in a state of surrender more of the time. Faith and trust, and how that equates to being in that really lovely feminine receiving energy. What this looks like is letting go of the how. Okay, letting go of the how, letting go of your expectations, and just leaning back into your feminine receiving energy. Because forcing outcomes generally manipulates results, okay? And competing and pushing and striving just equals being in your masculine energy, and it inevitably results in burnout. There is a much, much better way. And that is taking that inspired kind of action, which is what we covered in day 3 of the challenge. So on day 3, we spoke about how there's 2 types of action. There is forced action, and then there's inspired action. Forced action, in short, looks like doing something out of obligation because you feel you have to, or something that you don't really feel good about doing. An inspired action, in short, looks like taking action that really feels good to you, is perfectly lined up with your end goal and your end desire, and is something that you deeply enjoy doing. We spoke about how we shift and transform at the level of our identity, okay? And to be a woman that absolutely has it all, okay? Who is the identity, or what is the identity of the woman who absolutely has it all? The identity of you that absolutely has it all. To be a prolific exceeder of your goals year on year is to become the future version of yourself in the now. It is to bring her forward, okay, through time. Your greatest shift will come when you commit to changing at the level of your identity. The first step is to identify where we are being, acting, and showing up in the world that is keeping us limited and away from all we desire. The second step is to make a commitment to start shifting these identities. That begins with changing up your beliefs. And the third step is to change up our habits. We went deeper into habit forming for success. And simply by shifting your identity, you are changing and creating a North Star for habit change, okay? We then simply need to build better habits around that. Your habits reinforce your identity reinforce your habits, and so on and so forth. A habit is simply a behavior that's been repeated enough times for it to become automatic. We talked about the fact that we achieve what we track. And actually, a whopping 42% of people are more likely to go on to achieve their goals if they write them down. So it's well worth it. Weekly check-ins on how you're doing against your actions really keeps you focused and allows you to make early adjustments. Don't go 6 months into the year and then look at your goals and go, I've missed them. Let's just give it all up. And finally, on day 3, we talked about the importance of celebration. A celebration is a party thrown in the name of gratitude, which is something that one of my mentors, Melanie Ann Leah, always says. And I love that. It is one of my favorite all-time quotes. The energy of gratitude and appreciation kind of mixed in with desire is so magnetic. It literally magnetizes the things that we want towards us. And at the very least, it just makes you feel good more of the time. So day 4 was all about clearing up and clearing out. So we kicked off day 4 talking about the importance of environment, okay? And that in your environment, you have the capacity, or the environment has the capacity to either support you or seriously impede you in the pursuit of your dreams, aspirations, and desires. When we talk about environment, we're quite literally talking about your inner and your outer world. It is everything you're surrounded by and everything that you are consuming. We spoke about the importance of integrating the ego and accepting that our ego is an integral part of who we are, and sabotage patterns that often and most commonly create blockages in our manifestation process. Big one being, we fail to radically believe in ourselves fully and unapologetically. Because your beliefs quite literally shape, drive, and mold and create everything in your reality. The depth and degree of your transformation will be equal to the degree to which you believe that you can. Holding limiting beliefs go on to limit your results, which is, incredibly logical when you think about it. However, the good news is that your beliefs are simply a program. And a program can be changed. And we change it through our subconscious mind, okay? And through our subconscious programming. The mind literally cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It is based on perception and imagination. A famous man once said, if you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And he was absolutely correct. We manifest through our subconscious. And we wrapped up day 4 by talking about the fact that our emotions are simply energy in motion. And what that means is that as emotions are energy, energy cannot be destroyed. It is simply converted, okay? So if we're constantly avoiding our negative or our bad feelings, or we're swallowing down our emotional pain, it simply gets trapped in our bodies. Over time, it starts to affect our emotional and mental well-being and can even create disease in the body. It's that serious. So learning to process our emotions actually releases the energy from our body and from ourselves, and our cells, the little cells in our body. And integrating this practice has been an absolute game changer for me and a game changer for the people that I work with and for many others. And then for our final day, we went super woo-woo and I shared the advanced concepts of collapsing time and creating quantum leaps. We touched on the fact that time is simply an illusion, albeit a very persistent and very actively enforced illusion. There are 2 types of time. There is Newtonian time and Einstein time. Think of Newtonian as limited and Einstein as unlimited time. And your relationship to time, your attitude to time matters. It expands or contracts in accordance with how you think, feel, and believe and interact with time on a daily basis. For example, if you keep telling yourself and everybody else that time flies, oh, my years are just, evaporating, they're just flying by, and that you never have enough time, that is what you will perpetuate in your life. We talked about superflow and how to dissolve the old Newtonian kind of timelines and embrace the new Einstein time. And how we do that is we need to change how we kind of think about space and how we interact with space. Being in a feel-good flow, trusting that you always have enough time, has the effect of giving you more time. It quite literally expands time. And then we spoke about how tapping into superflow is available to everybody, each and every day. And it simply requires carving out 15 minutes of your time to tap into your intuitive guidance and ask, what is the most correct and aligned action for you to take today? And then, of course, to follow that through. Do more of what feels good, and doing more of what feels good has the effect of expanding time and even results in you stepping outside of time. I shared a very powerful and real life example of what a quantum leap actually looks like when it comes to our performance and our results when we change our relationship to time. And then I finished up with the fact that the amount, the size, and the manifestation or goal and result is completely irrelevant, okay? The size of it is irrelevant. You can, with exactly the same energy, manifest a £5,000 income a month or a £50,000 income a month. All that matters is your alignment to it. So that kind of wraps us up for the recap on the 5-day challenge goals into gold. If you're feeling called to dive deeper into that, then do go ahead and check those out on the group. So let me have a drink of water and then we will dive into the core subject of today, which is all about creating your queendom. So let's dive straight in to embodied feminine leadership. When we think about leadership, what do you think about? For me, I often jump straight into a leadership figure or a role in society. The leader of a country, CEO of a big corporation, or even our boss at work. We tend to put these people on a pedestal, okay, and are conditioned to believe that only ambitious A-type personality people and extroverted people are leadership material. That is a massive myth, okay? It is a myth. It is what I like to refer to as a big fat lie. A myth that results actually in giving our power away. Okay, when we subscribe to this belief, when we subscribe to this myth, we are giving our power away. Okay, the vast majority of these leaders in society are men. Yes, there are female leaders, but the vast majority of leaders in our society, or what we refer to as leaders, are men. They are being and showing up in their masculine energy and their masculine ways, and that is absolutely right for men. We are all leaders, okay? Let this be your new belief and paradigm. We are all leaders. We are the leaders of ourselves. She who leads herself without struggle, sacrifice, and burnout is she who embodies divine feminine leadership. So here are some examples of what divine feminine leadership actually look like. We ask for what we want. We set firm boundaries and we learn to say no. There is power in saying no. We do more of what feels good and less of what doesn't. We take aligned action. We tap into and leverage our innate creative abilities. Women are incredibly creative beings. We connect with our own wisdom and intelligence, okay? We tap into our intuition and our guidance. We deeply have faith and trust in our own abilities. And we lead with love and we remain open at all times to receiving. So here are some of the blockages that we experience when absolutely having it all. So I touched in detail on some of these common blockages that women in particular face on day 4 of the Goals into Gold Challenge. And these include things like failing to take radical responsibility for our lives and our results, failing to say no and not setting firm boundaries, not asking for what we want and putting everyone else's needs ahead of ours, being indecisive and giving in to procrastination and perfectionism as a way to avoid pain. And the biggie, which is failing to believe in ourselves fully and unapologetically. Now, these seem like obvious blockages, which you can easily address and turn them on their head. It quite simply is a case of stopping doing and starting doing something a little bit more positive. Here are 3 additional blockages that are actually less obvious and have a much, much greater impact on our ability to absolutely have it all. And number 1 is that we play small. We keep ourselves small and we don't make our dreams, goals, and desires our major focus in our lives. Women are often conditioned not to stick their head above the parapet, not to speak up, not to take control of their own destiny. We entertain, and number 2 is that we entertain people, relationships, and partnerships and friendships that are either toxic or are actually aligned to the old version of you. That is not the woman you are becoming, the woman that you are now. And number 3 is that our identity and our daily habits have not changed, even though we want to change our results. We simultaneously cling on to the comfort of our own old identity whilst resenting the fact that we want to see change in our lives and our results. So how do we flip the script and take our power back? Look, change is not easy, okay? Because it generates fear inside of us. However, we must recognize that fear is simply an ego reaction to the unknown. It is not the real you feeling this. The real you knows that it cannot fail. The real you knows that you are deeply worthy and deserving of everything that you desire. The real you knows that it is safe to go out there, to let go, to trust, and to surrender and say no to shit that doesn't serve you. Okay? The real you loves change. The real you loves change because the real you is at the level of your soul. Okay, it is at your soul level, and your soul is here for one reason only, and that is to learn, to grow, and to evolve. It is no wonder that so many of us on the planet are in so much pain when we constantly and consistently ignore the calling of our soul and our soul's desires. So let's talk about winning like a woman. Here's the thing that I see unfold all around me when I meet, speak, observe, and support women on this journey. That more and more of us are getting tired, stressed out, anxious, unfulfilled, and are burning the F out in the pursuit of success, in the pursuit of having it all. Oftentimes, the level of success that we're aiming for is not even a spot, not even a hair on the potential of what you could become. And here's why. We are molded, shaped, and conditioned into winning like a man in a man's world. In an environment that was, an environment, a society, an economic and capitalistic structure that was actually designed by men for men many, many centuries ago, when we did not have a seat at the table. Women were not present when these systems were born, and put into place. And so to claim equality, we've had to man up. We've had to turn the dial up on our masculinity, on our masculine energies, leaders? I'm not saying you're showing up like a bloke at work. That is not it. It is your masculine energy that you've turned the dial up on, And we've had to do what we've needed to do, basically, just to survive and to thrive as best as we can within this structure. We call it equality, but women are sacrificing so much more than their male counterparts in the pursuit of success, and that continues to be perpetuated today. It's just a fact of life, because the game is actually not rigged in our favor, and that is, unfortunately, the way that the world is right now. But there are women, there are women who are doing things a little bit differently. There are women who are rising up. There are women who are tapping back into their feminine power, and are leading themselves and are winning at the game of life like a woman, not a man. So how do we start to make adjustments to win like a woman at the game of life? Here is what it looks like, or here are some examples of what it looks like. So not only do we deeply reflect on where we're not taking radical responsibility for ourselves, but we deeply commit to going all in and doing the work that is needed to transform our results from the inside out. We do not shy away from real work. And the real work is the inner work. We alchemize through releasing and connecting with our power to create, we become a powerful manifester of our own reality. Divine feminine women are deeply creative, and we leverage this power to create our queendom. We do not doubt this power, we fully own it. We support and we collaborate with each other. We cheer each other on. We pull other women up behind us. We catch ourselves in those micro moments of jealousy, envy. And instead of thinking, how can I tear this woman down and find fault in her, we think about how we can become more like her, How can we emulate her energy, her beauty, her success? We apply deep focus and intentionality with our actions, our behaviors, and our habits that are lined up perfectly with the woman that we are becoming. Not the old us, not our old identity, the woman we are becoming. We make this our number one priority. And finally, we trust and we leverage the innate power of our emotions and our feelings and our intuitive kind of decisions, We have faith in our own abilities and capacities, and we are open to receiving, and are not over giving. So recognizing that as you work on yourself, and as you become a greater version of you, and as you commit deeply to transforming your life and your results, something incredible happens, Something incredible happens. As you step into your divine feminine leadership and power, you start to awaken other people around you. It is infectious. You don't do it intentionally, You're not trying to make this happen. It just happens, And those people around you also start to transform in a positive way by you being you. By you just being you, and by them being around you. It is transformation by osmosis. And it's a beautiful thing to witness. There really is no greater gift that you can give yourself, your loved ones, and society as a whole than the gift of working on you. Let me have a drink of water, and then I'll touch on clarity to queendom. So, that wraps up our masterclass. Now what I'd like to do is just introduce you to an incredibly, incredibly exciting new opportunity. So if you're feeling the pull, the call to step into your divine feminine power, create the life you've always dreamed of, without the struggle, sacrifice, and burnout, then I have just the solution for you. I'm beyond excited and thrilled to introduce Clarity to Queendom. This is a 5-week transformational program. Just me, just you, and 5 group of powerful women, powerful queens who are all on the journey to creating their queendom. Every single week, there will be a special module, a special training, okay, which will go super, super deep on all of the concepts, all of the topics, all of the processes, and learn how to master the art and alchemy of manifestation, okay? Manifestation on purpose, the manifestation of all that you dream and desire. There will be specific tools, modalities that you will absolutely learn to completely shift and change your mindset, your beliefs, your identity, your emotions, your habits, and your environment, okay? This is true transformation from the inside out, so that you start to create your reality and dream life, not only in a purposeful way, but in a way that is deeply embodied in divine feminine leadership. You'll have the full support of me, plus the mastermind, and every single week we will hold a special group coaching call where all of your questions will be answered and where full guidance and support will be given on your specific, unique journey. Plus, you will have lifetime access to this program, okay? And what that means is lifetime access forever. I absolutely intend on expanding and extending this program as the months and years roll on. So adding on new modules and trainings as we move through. So the value of this program will continue to increase exponentially, okay? You, however, get to lock in an introductory price for this launch of Clarity to Queendom of $555 for this tranche only. Okay, when we launch it in Q2, the price will be much higher, and again in Q3 of this year, and so on and so forth. So this will be the only opportunity that you have to lock in on this price. This program, the content, the tools, systems and processes, and the time spent with me and a supportive mastermind of women is quite literally valued in the thousands, okay? So I'm going to wrap this up by saying, if you are serious, okay? If you are serious about learning how to manifest every single little thing that you desire, and you're ready to fully leave back all that no longer serves you, and you are ready and committed to really doing this work, then Clarity to Queendom is definitely for you. A full breakdown of everything that's included, how you will be supported, and all of the payment plans, yes, there's even a payment plan, is all included in the sales page. We're going to include the link to the sales page either in the description or in the comments below. So if there's additional questions you'd like to ask me before committing, I am also offering free 15-minute Q&A calls, okay? So do book that if that feels right for you and if that feels aligned to you. We begin Clarity to Queendom on February the 7th. But the cart and the doors for application are only open for 3 days, I think. Yes, 72 hours. This is going to be a really, really small window of opportunity to get in here, okay? So that's it. I'm incredibly excited to be launching this program. I do hope to see as many of you in there as possible. So look, that wraps us up. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed the masterclass. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I will see you soon. And as ever, to your incredible success.